Hello there.
Claw, I decided to join you. And Neshi deserves to hear that I still live in my own words.
Got a lot to do here.
Old Neshi doesn't get many visitors, friend. Few find much comfort in the ancient tales of Gunzari during these trying times. Wait, Neshi recognizes your friend. She is grown now, more serious, but this one knows Princess Kamira Baijod. Aneshi's beloved wife, Zyma, worked with the militia for a time after we avoided Euraxia's purge of the palace. Passed along information until the Euraxians caught her. They killed her in the palace courtyard. If Aneshi can help, he will do so. Then you need to enter the palace crypts. A forgotten passage in the crypts leads to the royal kitchens. Aneshi will write down directions to where he hid his master key. The key opens a door in the sewer under the palace that leads to the crypts. Jode above, old Aneshi can hardly believe his eyes. Princess Camira.
It is truly me, Castellan. But I am Queen Camira now. We will throw the usurper from my father's throne.
We stayed close to the castle. Zyma, my brave and beloved wife, she passed information to the militia until the vile Euraxians caught her. After that, Aneshi came here to restore this. This one will help you as best he can, my queen.
I will visit with Aneshi, Five Claw. Recover the master key and meet me in Riemann.
Well, aren't you off in a hurry? Heading to Surindar's cradle? I hope you brought your own water skin. Or you could buy one off me. My rates are reasonable, given the drought. Water, or rather the lack of it. Something stopped the flow from the aqueduct to Surindar's cradle. I've been hauling water for them in the meantime, but they can't keep this up forever. Don't know. Old stones, old gates and levers, who can say for sure? I overheard the adepts discussing the trouble. A young one, Vosby, seems keen to solve the issue. If you want to know more, she's the person to ask.
Yeah!
We must do something about the water, Silujo. If you would just...
No adept can face the wastes alone, child. This one insists you stay.
Vasby cannot understand. Only puddles remain in the Adeptorium cisterns, but still Silujo forbids this one to act. Our Adeptorium, Srendra's cradle, is parched by a drought. We rely on the Anequina aqueduct to supply our water, but something halted the flow. Now adepts and pilgrims go thirsty. We tend to the sick here. Without water, many of them may die. No, and we never will if Silujo gets his way. He yowls about the risks, but Vasby is not the saucer-eyed kitten she was when Silujo found her. This one must fix this. You're a warrior, yes? Would you escort Vasby to investigate the aqueduct? Thank you for helping, Rook. We should investigate the nearest gate of the aqueduct, just south of here. Srendar willing, we will find whatever blocks the water there. Vasby will meet you soon. This one must speak to Silojo before she leaves. No. My teachers examined the Order's histories and found no evidence of droughts in the past. But we live in curious times, yes? Dragons fly, dead walk. A broken aqueduct would not seem out of place. Vasby does not think so. Before the water reaches Srendar's cradle, it passes Rimen. And for all the city's problems, a drought is not one of them. That means the flow is blocked somewhere between the city and the Adeptorium. About Vasby? Oh, this one's life is not so exciting, but if you insist. Vasby is an initiate and servant of Srendar. A healer in training also. Silojo and the other monks raised this one here in the cradle. Most learn the craft, but not all have the passion for it that this one does. Silojo says it is Vasby's calling. This one thinks he is right. I found it! We should examine the gate at the top of the ramp. Open and dry, as expected. Hopefully we'll find the blockage at the second gate. Busby hopes we can find the problem soon. Otherwise we may have to investigate the Bandar span. A portion of the aqueduct that runs through Bandar's litter. A canyon to the east of the Adeptorium. It's just to go there. Ever since this one was a Jakajit. Busby does not know. She has, at times, heard whispers from the older adepts. Something about the Nahatan flu. This one asked Silojo outright about the place years ago. He only shook his head and said it was far, far from Srendar's light. Vasby will be right behind you, but be careful, Walker. Silojo can be overprotective, but he would not resort to lies to hold us back. The dangers of the wastes are real, as you know. Truly, I hate to worry him, but Vasby must do this. Caught you! Vasby is a quick study, yes? Let's examine this new gate. Dry. Zisfo. Wait, what is this? Curious. This scrap of cloth. Vasby knows it well. It is part of a Srendar adept's habit. One of the old ones we don't wear anymore. Could an adept have been out here? Vasby does not think anyone wore it. The way it is torn, it looks like someone used it to dress a wound. Do you see the stains? This one smells blood, too. A warning, perhaps. Or a clue. Maybe. Vosby is no investigator, but finding something like this near the gate feels like a sign. We should find the person, if only to make sure they are not badly hurt, yes? We could start by searching around the columns that hold the aqueduct up. Someone gravely injured may have rested in the structure's shadow. No time to waste, Walker. Let's go. Another shred of a habit? The blood seems more spotty. From a sword, maybe. Let's keep looking. The blood trail goes cold, yes? But what is that? A cameo? The face looks... This was not dropped by accident, Walker. There must be more to find. This is a nursery rhyme, isn't it? Like the one Vosby read every night as a kitten. Srendar's Mercy. Please hurry, Walker! Spud-O cloth? Vosby recognizes that pattern. Come, let's keep looking, come! And we find a death coin lost. Of course. Something that gleams to take to the sands behind the stars. We should talk. The bloody bandages, the cameo, and Spud-O cloth. All these trinkets and mementos lead to a forbidden place. Bandar's litter. Vosby has not been totally honest with you, Walker. This one has a very personal stake in this business. The drought. It's because of me. That is why Vosby insisted on being the one to investigate. Every year, on this one's birthday, someone leaves a gift outside the cloisters. Gifts like the nursery rhyme, coin, and cameo we found, you see? Days after the aqueduct ran dry, the gift giver left a jug of cold, fresh water outside this one's door. It was a message, you see, for Vosby. Now we find these dressings and keepsakes, all leading to Bandar's litter. Our answers are there. Old ghosts haunt this place. Angry spirits that moan and howl curses in the night. Silujo always insisted we stay away. I hate to disobey him, but we have no choice. The last sluice gate and the person we pursue are both inside. Are you prepared? Wait! Vosby saw someone! do they run? We do not mean them any harm. There they go. Is that the same one as before? Let's split up. We can corner him.
Who are you? Where is Rasby, beloved child? Finally, you have come home at last.
Beloved, what? I don't... We only want to restore the water.
Water? No. You come for answers, child. Answers from ashes. Take her to our camp at the Bandar Gate. Kill the other and cleanse him in flame. The scouring fire will claim Sarindar's cradle soon enough.
Quickly! Over here! Silujo saw everything. We must save Vasby. Quickly, please! I may not be Vasby's father, but I feel a father's love for her. What parent would let their child wander the Kaj with a stranger? Silujo followed at a distance, but could not stop Vasby in time. The stricken cats took her deeper into the canyon. The flu. Time heals some wounds and causes others to fester. Sometimes even the greatest healer cannot see all ends. Forgive me. Silujo is an old cat. He rambles. We must go to the Bandar Gate to halt the flames and save my Vasby. There is a cavern deep within the litter. It ascends to the Bandar Gate. We will find the aqueduct blockage and Vasby there. Come, we must hurry. These sick, scarred, you see, we call them the stricken. After the Nahatan flu ravaged their bodies, the people of Elsweyr cast them out. They came to Srendar's cradle once for healing, but the king's vizier would have put our adeptorium to the torch if he knew we harbored the sick. You should know the reason they hate us. It is my fault. They wish to burn our home because I cast them into Bandar's litter to die. Wait, Silujo must speak to you. Before we go further, we must speak. The Bandar gate lies beyond that door. The Stricken's leader as well, Busby's true father. His love and sorrow has turned to hatred for me. Silujo has no illusions. Death waits for this one through this passage, for the actions of his past. Silujo does not fear this death if it will save Busby. Before it happens, though, this one must ask. You now know the story of Srendar's cradle, of the sick left to die. When this one is gone, Busby will have questions. What will you tell her? Silujo thanks you, Walker. Choosing who lives and who dies weighs on the soul, but as a healer and a leader, I must make hard decisions. If Silujo had to do it all over again, he would make the same choice. Now come, Busby waits.
No. My daughter is no longer yours to corrupt at dip.
Silujo, no! This is my fault. Srendar, forgive me. He breathes, but faintly. Busby will take him back to the cradle. My hands won't stop shaking. The Stricken's leader, Hulzar, wields horrible magic. He told me that the adepts took me from him. That they stole everything from him. He said Yes. He said he left me gifts so that I would not forget him. But seeing me grow closer to Silujo, closer to the Order, twisted his tail to the breaking point. He lured Busby here to Banda's litter. Now he plans to burn the Adeptorium. Please, Walker, if there is any way to spare Hulzar, have mercy. Busby knows he is mad, but to lose two fathers at once. Srendar, help me. This one is so lost. Moons. Why did Silujo come here? He must have known the Stricken would kill him. This one only needed saving because she disobeyed Silujo. He came here because of Busby. He dies because of Busby. This one knows. Hulza told me about how he and his wife, my mother, came to the cradle with a tiny Vasby in their arms. He described the long march to Bandar's litter and the cold, moonless nights that followed. More suffering on my account. How could it not be Vasby's fault? Had Hulza's wife not carried Vasby in her womb, they never would have come to Srenda's cradle. Had Vasby not sought to restore the water, Silojo would live. Please, just find Hulzar. Vasby must work.
Think you can keep me from my vengeance? Come, Dean. Vasby, I'm sorry.
You return. Good. Vasby already loses too much today. Silojo did not... Vasby could not... He is gone. His soul wanders the sands behind the stars now. The other adepts mourn for him as Vasby does, but they do not know the truth of his death or the cost of the water you restored. But you know. Vasby knows. And it may be too much for her to bear. Vasby loved this place. She idolized Silojo and the other healers. She prayed to Srendar for the strength and wisdom to serve as well as those who came before. But Srendar's cradle is a lie. My dream is a lie. What is Vasby to do now? The people of Elsweyr think that the adepts of the cradle worked miracles to stave off the flu. Now I see that they only hid the sick in the wilderness to let them die. How can this one just ignore that? How can I dedicate my life to such a place? Yes, this one will stay. But I will not lie about what happened here. Silojo made an impossible choice, but the people deserve to hear the truth. Thank you, Walker. We only just met. But you are the closest thing to family that Vasby has left. Brothers, sisters, Vasby must speak about Silojo's passing. Before he passed, this one learned the truth of the stricken, of the role we healers played in their suffering. No longer. In Shrendar's name, we must go to Bandar's litter. We must help the stricken, and we must try to heal this age-old wound, for their sake and for ours.
summer rain, brilliant green and growing tall, sweet moon sugar cane, sweet moon sugar cane. Gifted by the moons as they wax and wane, fill our bowls and fill our souls, sweet moon sugar cane, sweet moon sugar cane.
Have you heard about the dragon sightings in Elsweyr?
More than heard. This one saw a dragon the other day.
Well?
Five Claw, over here. Tarn wants to speak to you.
I may not have figured out Chimera's true identity, but things have been hectic since I met her. Zamorak, though, he was easier to surmise. I recognized the bearing of the king's claw the moment I saw him. Did you find us a way into the palace? The crypts. So that means another delightful trek through the sewers. The overwhelming stench of excrement still lingers from our last visit. Ah, well. I have another task for you to deal with first, however. The siege weapons aim down into the city. We need to disable them before Euraxia realizes she's under attack, or she'll destroy Rimmon just to spite us. Meet Nalado and destroy 2 of the installations. Chimera will take care of the 3rd. Just thinking out loud, a habit I acquired during my time in the archives at White Gold Tower. Zamorak once served as a royal protector. From his bearing and the way he hovers near Chimera, he had to be one of the king's claws. It's quite obvious. Captain Nalado's waiting for you near the siege weapons. Work with her to put them out of commission. Once we see the weapons go up in flames, we'll head out and rendezvous with you at the sewer entrance.
Come witness the miracle at Sunspire. Your prayers are answered. You need not fear. Five Claw. Good, good. We have work to do. Are you ready to disable the siege weapons and wreak some more havoc? The soldier guarding the gate to the south weapons platform appears bored. This one plans to give her something to get excited about. When she leaves her post, slip through the gate and set fire to the siege weapons. Be quick, Five Claw. At the gate, yes. This one observed a few more soldiers on the platform, but not many. The usurper queen feels secure in Rimmon. We're about to change that. After this one deals with the soldier, I will move on to the north platform. Meet me there. Watch as Nalado becomes a sleek Euraxian soldier. How do they see with this thing on? Garashi has been spotted in the market. Hurry!
Yeah. Finally, some action.
Nalado will deal with the soldier. Oh, this one can't wait to get out of this donkey armor. The south platform is under attack.
Stupid cats! Wait, I better warn my lieutenant first.
Go, destroy the siege weapon. Nalado will clean up. This way! We should be able to watch Queen Carmira destroy the far platform from over here. She did it! Now let's meet the others at the sewer entrance.
Here come the others now.
There are too many of us. We need to split
A
up.
queen should not rush into danger. It is unseemly. This one should be at her side to keep her safe. Nalado will follow orders, though. We must make our way through the crypts and into the palace before Camira gets into too much trouble, yes? Camira is queen now, so this one must do as she says. There are dangers ahead, regardless of whether we stick together or not. But we have a better chance of reaching the usurper queen if we approach from multiple directions. Yes, and if anything happens to our new queen, this one will have Tharn's head on a platter. We waste too much time, Five Claw. Are you ready to enter the sewers and find the door to the crypts?
I'll scout ahead!
Into the...
Tally-ho!
Everyone, unsheathe your claws.
There is the door to the crypts. Let us see if the master key still works.
Nalado will guard the rear. You go...
This one hasn't visited these crypts in a long, long time. Wait. This is the royal crypt, but it has been disturbed. They took his body. They desecrated the king's grave. And from the looks of it, the queen's and Kamira's siblings as well. Zamorak has no clue. This royal crypt was prepared when King Hemakar ascended to the throne and married Queen Numara. Why inter the bodies and then dig them up 6 years later? Dark moons. This one hopes that is not the case. To even think such a thing makes Zamorak's fur stand on end. We should hurry and find Kamira. Find the queen. We need to find a way into the palace, and quickly.
Euraxia not only murdered our king and queen, she desecrated their graves! She's a monster!
We can reach the royal chambers through the Chapel of the Guiding Moons and the Great Hall.
Far enough. Queen Euraxia doesn't want to be disturbed.
The Chapel of the Guiding Moons is just ahead. It's the necromancer, Zumag Foom. They locked us in.
Queen Euraxia will be delighted to hear that we have guests.
Oh, look, more cats. I do adore flaying and then roasting the nasty creatures.
If you'll excuse us, we have another member of your party to deal with.
I'm of two minds. I want to watch your cadavers tear these cheeky mudcrabs apart, but I also want to deal with my inferior duplicate. What to do, what to do.
Leave the door to Zamorak. This one will make an exit.
More undead!
Zamarak will guard your backs.
Go left while this one goes right. We will meet in the royal chambers.
Destroy me! Destroy you? No, we're simply correcting a mistake of nature.
We will transfer your duplicate's animus into you. But our time with Queen Euraxia has reached its end. Come along.
Please, not like this. Try smashing these glass baubles. Well, that wasn't pleasant. You go on. I'll be along in a snap.
There. Make haste. Euraxia is in the palace courtyard with Mulamnir. Be cautious. We need to know what Euraxia and the dragon are planning before we attack.
The moon gate you seek lies to the southwest. Zumog Thum has the key. Now, about my request.
The necromancers have already agreed to serve Calgrontid. You no longer interest us, Euraxia Thorn.
How dare you! We had a deal! What's this now? My incompetent half-brother and... Aha! The lost princess returns.
Nalado!
Here. Your parents have missed you so, princess.
Father! No!
I never liked you, Abner. Now do me a favor and just die!
I'll take down that shield. You... The shield is down!
I'll destroy you all! The runes of oblivion shield me! Feel the wrath of Euraxia Thorn!
We can mourn Nalado later. I need to see the throne.
Once this all began, I knew Euraxia would need to be dealt with. But sending Chimera's murdered parents against us... Death was too easy an end for my half-sister. I'm concerned that the dragons continue to work with the necromancers, though. Half-sister. And do I really seem like the sentimental type to you? Euraxia may be gone, but Mulamnir mentioned his leader, Calgrontid. He said the necromancers were helping them, and Euraxia said something about a moon gate to the southwest. Perhaps. The next queen of Anequina said there's no time to mourn the dead, but I worry what happened here could affect her judgment. Let's get to the throne room and try to figure out why the dragons need necromancers and a moon gate.
We will deal with the fallen later. I fear more pressing matters must concern us now. May the dark take Euraxia! She sent my own parents against us, and killed the brave and honorable Nalado! But we have no time to mourn. We must determine what the dragons seek at the ancient Moon Gate. Do not presume to tell me how I should feel. I am the queen now, and I do not have the luxury or the time to grieve. Fiveclaw. Those were not my parents. They were animated husks, nothing more. And I will remember Nalado's sacrifice. After we finish saving Elsweyr from the dragons. You are still with me in this, Fiveclaw. You and Abner Thorn both. We ended one threat, but two more remain. I will go on without you, but I would rather have you at my side for what is to come. The war is far from over. Even a queen needs to consult with such learned personages as Garesh Rhi and Abner Thorn every now and then. Take this in recognition of your efforts on our behalf, Fiveclaw. Then talk to Garesh Rhi. I need to think. This throne... For too long, a tyrant has sat upon it. But now...
The men must recognize you as the heir of Anequina. But the people already cheer your name.
Finally, this palace is a labyrinth. Did I miss anything?
A word, Fiveclaw. Chimera's parents would be proud of how she has stepped forward in these dark times. Moons, I am proud of her. While Chimera gathers her thoughts, the rest of us have work to do. Tell me, what happened in the palace? You bring news both welcome and grim. But we can neither celebrate a victory nor mourn the good captain until later, I fear. We need to determine why the dragons are willing to associate with wielders of dark magic. Could they be interested in the moon gate of Anequina? It lies in that direction. I wonder if this pertains to Euraxia's final order. A soldier mentioned it after we captured her, but she refused to elaborate. Maybe you can help Tharn find out more. Even now, Abnur Tharn searches through the documents in the royal study, seeking information concerning this final order. Despite his show of indifference, Euraxia was his half-sister. Her death is bound to affect him. I suggest that you tread warily.
When you look at the world as lines on a map, it all seems so small and insignificant. I was trying to determine the meaning of this document, but so far the secret eludes me. I found a letter, but it's not complete. Looks like a scribe's dictation. I've been searching for more, but I haven't made much progress through the royal stacks. With your help, perhaps the search will go more quickly. It alludes to an order Euraxia was preparing to deliver shortly before our assault on the palace. It mentions a Captain S, the Cygnus Irregulars, and a favor for the dragons, but gives no indication as to who they are or what the favor might be. We did what had to be done. Think no more about it. If you hadn't ended Euraxia, I certainly would have. Now, look around and see if you can find anything pertaining to this unfinished letter. I'm sure it refers to Euraxia's final order. This study contains documents from when the Khajiit ruled Rimmon, as well as papers that cover the span of Euraxia's rule. So many, many papers. She was a prolific writer, I'll give her that. At least she didn't destroy her files before she died. Anything pertaining to this so-called final order. While we're looking around, let's see if we can find anything that mentions the dragons, the necromancers, or anything significant. Who knows? We might uncover something unexpectedly helpful. Control dragons? What folly. But what was that about killing the last dragon guard? Old Khajiiti legends and rumors of a last dragon guard. Intriguing. Captain Sorlinia. That must be Captain S. And the Cygnus Irregulars are Imperial troops under the command of Prefect Kalo at Sandswirl Manor. I think you found everything I need to fill in the blanks. Let's talk. The documents you uncovered allow me to make sense of this unfinished dictation. I believe I now know the contents of Euraxia's final order. Euraxia ordered Captain Sorlinia to assassinate a dragon guard in an effort to appease the dragons. Sorlinia plans to commandeer as many additional soldiers as necessary from Prefect Kalo at Sandswirl Manor and retrieve a report. Neither do I, at least not fully. The Dragon Guard were the sworn protectors of the Imperial Emperor. At least they were until they fell out of favor. Euraxia has ordered her assassins to murder what she claims to be the last Dragon Guard. Don't ask me. The Dragon Guard I knew failed to protect the potentates and were disbanded in disgrace. They claimed to have descended from legendary Akaviri dragon hunters. But that's all it was. A legend. We need to get to Sandswirl Manor. We can't take any chances. Euraxia's final order directs her assassins to murder the last Dragon Guard. If the dragons consider this threat real, we need it on our side. Meet me west of the city, on the outskirts of Sandswirl Manor.
Are the people of Rimmon cowards?
They're just afraid, Chimera. Remember, the dragons still darken the skies overhead.
But we need to replenish our forces. I fear there are more battles ahead.
You carry the weight of the kingdom, Chimera, but the crown is not yet yours.
Yes, yes. I must be recognized by the Main and Queen Eren. Which reminds me, has the Dominion sent us any aid?
A few advisors, some gold, but no troops. We are on our own.
Concerned about...
An Imperial garrison housed in a Khajiiti estate. My half-sister spared no expense, I see. Prefect Kalo commands a full complement of soldiers, mostly seasoned Imperials and not the Nibonese mercenaries that make up Euraxia's main forces. It's probable that Sorlinia and her assassination squad is here as well, so I advise caution. I prefer to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, of course, but these are enemy forces. We must do what we must to complete our mission. I'll work my way down from the upper levels of the house. You find your own entrance and we'll meet somewhere inside. Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence, and keep an eye out for Captain Sorlinia or anything related to Euraxia's final order. We need to determine where the assassination squad plans to strike if we're going to save the Dragon Guard.
Time to make me a fur coat. Kalo's pet coat. Time to make me a fur coat. One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
Intruder!
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat. Hey, another civilian with a death wish.
How good of you to join me. Let's talk. We need to speak quickly. I doubt I'll remain undiscovered for very long. This projection, a simple spell. Nothing to it, really. But that's not what I want to discuss. I'm hiding in an empty servant's quarters at the moment. I discovered that Prefect Kalo is no longer in charge here. In fact, he's been arrested. That's the thing. Prefect Kalo isn't really one of the Euraxians. His cohort of Imperials accompanied my half-sister into Rimmen, but he's been a vocal opponent of her coup and subsequent claim of rulership. Apparently, he refused another order. Kalo's probably being held on one of the lower levels. See if you can find him. He should be able to tell us more about the Dragon Guard and Solinia's orders. Wait a moment. I'm about to have company. I'll find my way to you as soon as I can.
Interesting. You're not one of Euraxia's mercenaries. I'm Prefect Kalo, commander of the Cygnus Irregulars. And you're that outsider working with the Khajiit militia. I expected you hours ago. Well, let's not dawdle. You have an assassination squad to stop, I assume, so if you'd open my cell? It's elementary. I pay attention to every significant event that occurs in the region. Comes with my job description. I have agents, spies, and informers from Riverhold to Rimmen. The dossier on you could choke a Wamasu. Now, about this door? I'm an Imperial without an Emperor. My cohort was assigned to accompany Euraxia on a fact-finding mission. She turned it into a conquest. I tried to temper her more violent tendencies, but her mercenaries outnumber my legionaries by a wide margin. I refused a direct order. Wouldn't give Solinia my soldiers or my file on the last Dragon Guard. So, here I am. How about this? You can find a copy of the report in my office. If the information it contains helps you, then come back and set me free. I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but neither do I want to see it destroyed. Dragons were the last straw. In other words, this is me making a stand. You can find a copy of the Dragon Guard report in my office upstairs. I see you found the report. Now we can continue our conversation without being separated by those inconvenient bars.
Ah, there you are. And I see you've captured Prefect Kalo. I presume he surrendered without a fight?
Don't look so shocked. My irregulars are very good at what they do. It was simple enough for them to sneak in and set me free. Now, what did you learn from the report? Anything that will help us stop Captain Solinia and her assassination squad? As I said, we were never willing participants in Euraxia's conquest of northern Elsweyr. My irregulars did as little as possible to advance her agenda, and we worked to sabotage it as often as not. Besides, have you forgotten about the dragons? The dragons won't stop after they kill or subjugate the Khajiit. We're in as much danger as everyone else. If Lord Garesh-Ri pardons my soldiers, we'll help fight the dragons. But we're going to need the Dragon Guard. Do you know where he is? Grand Chancellor, I propose that you get Garesh-Ri to pardon the Cygnus Irregulars so we can form an alliance.
An alliance? Interesting. Comrades would be helpful in the battles to come. I'll return to Rimmon, plead Kalo's case, and send someone to help you. Meanwhile, I suggest you start your search for the shrine at the Stitches.
To do here.
stench! Die, moon slave! You face a Dramatra willingly? So be it.